Hello and welcome to my very first Monday motivation session, and welcome to my home. My name is Annika and I'm the founder here at Mummy Made This, an organization I founded back in 2020 to help parents enjoy family life more, laugh more, play more, and as I say, simply enjoy family life a little bit more. And the products that I have are all designed and geared around making family life that little bit easier, very practical things, but also things that encourage creative play and supporting family life in general. So the idea behind these Monday motivation sessions are that every Monday evening, I want to connect with you and share with you ways that I have dealt with certain things that have come up in my parenting journey and things that have worked for me and my family. Sometimes it might be a book review, sometimes it might be practical things that I've done in terms of ideas and fun things to do with the kids. Sometimes it might be topics that you as listeners or subscribers have requested. Anything really that I've found helpful and that I want to share with you so that you can see if that is something that resonates with you and helps you in your parenting journey as well. And I fully recognize that every family is unique and different. So some topics might very well resonate with you and others the following week maybe might not be for you, but the week after that might be for you again. So stay tuned and just pick and choose and pick and mix the topics that resonate with you, that work for you, and that you find helpful. And I'd love your comments as well, and any ideas or topics maybe that you are struggling with as well that you'd like me to maybe cover or look into a bit more. Email me at annika@mummymadethis.co.uk or connect with me on social. So either on Instagram or Facebook. I'm on both of those platforms as Mummy Made This, or on YouTube as well, very new, also as Mummy Made This. So yeah, any of those social platforms, connect with me. Right, so what the other thing I wanted to say is the first topic that I want to look at is screen time. I don't know whether you found the same. Certainly over Christmas and into the beginning of the new year, I have found that our family has watched far too much screen time, and I am a firm believer that there is a time and a place for this. And yes, holidays, especially when the weather is cold or not very nice, absolutely there's a time and a place for screen time, and we all do it and we all love it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I've certainly found that more recently now, my children are showing signs that mean that they've just had too much screen time. And so I want to break down the whole topic of screen time into a couple of sessions. So the first one that I want to talk to you about today is all about what are those signs that the kids have had too much screen time. And obviously those signs for your kids might be different, but these are the signs that my kids exhibit, and maybe you'll recognize some of them in your children too. And then and what is too much screen time. So that's what I want to cover today. Then next week, I'd like to look at, okay, so if you've established that there's too much screen time in your family, so what do you do about it then? So how do you go about changing that, and who decides in that family how much is too much or how much is the right amount? And I want to share with you what I did in my family, which was we all got together and we talked about it, and I'll share with you sort of the specific questions we asked ourselves as a family, and then the solution that we came up with as a family. So that's next week. And then the final session I want to do on screen time is, okay, so too much screen time, fine. What on earth do we do instead? And I want to share with you a list of activities that we've either done already as a family or some things that are on the list of things to do for us to test. And again, there'll be a free download in that session, so in 2 weeks' time, for you to just grab and see whether some of those activities might work for you as well. So that's the plan anyway. Right, so today's session is all about what are the signs of too much screen time. So as I mentioned, I feel like in our house there's just simply too much screen time at the minute. And whether that's sort of TV for the younger ones, or my oldest, he loves Minecraft and he's on that, it feels like all the time. And the signs that I see happening now are, one, when I turn the screens off, or when we turn the screens off, there is huge pushback, really, really big feelings, lots of anger, lots of frustration, lots of, this is the worst day ever, Mummy. So that's always one sign that actually they are so hooked at the moment that, yeah, those feelings are huge. Whereas when they have less screen time overall, they seem more relaxed about that when the screens get turned off. Second sign that I found is that when they walk in the door, wherever we've come from, they seem to gravitate immediately to the screens. It's as if they've forgotten what else there is to do and what other ideas they might have to entertain themselves or play or relax. Or screens just seem the go-to all the time. And again, when they've had less screen time, overall, they are way more creative in entertaining themselves than when they've had lots and lots or too much screen time. Let's see. The third one, oh yes, when it is time to go to bed, for example, it feels, and the screens obviously turn off, and then it feels like they have suddenly remembered, oh, we haven't played at all today or not enough, and they then start playing beautifully together, no arguments, no nothing, and it is a joy to watch them playing like that, but it is really noticeable that they've clearly not had enough of that playtime throughout the day, and they are desperate to fill that bucket then before they go to bed. But obviously that's then not the right time when it's bedtime. My oldest, he is often one sign when he's having too much is that he will sneak off, for want of a better word, to go and find his screens, and he'll go, yeah, I'll be down in a minute. And then another half an hour goes by and you think, where on earth has he gone? All he said was he's going to, I don't know, put some socks on. And he's clearly just gone off to just build a little bit more in his Minecraft world. And finally, two more things actually. One is that, again, when we switch the screens off, they either play beautifully together or, on the flip side, sometimes they go completely bonkers and completely hyper, and they will jump on the furniture and lots of running around and shouting and screaming and, yes, laughing, but just completely hyper because I guess they haven't burnt any of that energy that's pent up just because they've just been sitting watching screens. And then the final one is, oh yes, they sleep less well, particularly when screens have been too close to bedtime. They either struggle to get to sleep or they sleep less well through the night. And I guess, again, that is linked scientifically, isn't it? That if we get, as adults as well, too much of the blue light? Correct me if I'm wrong, from screens, then we struggle as adults as well to go to sleep. So it would make sense that the children should be no different. So those are the signs in my children. I'd be really intrigued to hear whether you experience the same, whether it's the same, similar signs or different ones, or most of them are similar, but you could add to the list others that I've either forgotten or that my kids just don't exhibit. So I'd love to hear from you as to what the signs are in your family and in your kids. And then finally, the other question was, of course, well, how much is too much then? And again, this will vary by family, I guess, and by personality maybe. And so in my kids, I have found that they start to exhibit, whenever they start to exhibit those signs, I always know, okay, that was too much. And it tends to be, for the little ones, around an hour, maybe a little bit over an hour, that's fine. And they cope fine with that. And a day, this is, of screen time. And, they seem quite balanced and happy. And for my older one, if it goes over 2 hours a day, I always know that's no good for him. He starts to show those signs. So yeah, around the hour mark, I would say, works for our family. And sometimes, obviously, it's not practical because I need to get stuff done and I get sucked into my own work or my chores or whatever my things, and I'm busy. And then it might go over that, and it's, we're all human. But in terms of putting a finger on what is that then, how much is too much in our family, certainly, if anything goes above 1 or 2 hours a day, it is too much. Again, I'd love to hear from you. What's that like in your family? Is that far higher than your children like to watch or allowed to watch, or that is good for them? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Connect with me on annika@mummymadethis.co.uk or on my social accounts, Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, and I'd love to hear from you. And tune in for next week's Monday Motivation session, where we will talk all about how we got to figuring out for our family a new structure around how much is too much and when should it be. And the interesting thing was actually, excuse me, especially for my oldest, he wasn't so bothered about how much. For him, it was more about when, having some kind of reliability around when he can have screens and having some control over when he can have screens and how that ties in with his friends as well. So, but more on that next week. I hope you tune in and I hope you enjoyed today. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.